Hey, Matt here, on the way to get my morning coffee. I want to talk today about the Uber model for healthcare corporations. So Uber model is where we get clients assigned to you through a sort of like a catalog. It's more like a taxi service. So they'll book these clients for you through the company, the corporation, but they won't provide you an office. Uh, they might provide you a laptop. They might provide you some templates, and you'll have your opportunities for having group meetings and these things with the company, but they don't provide you an office space and they don't provide you a therapy room, and that therapy room's a big problem. So with this model, you go into the community, you'll see your clients, all your KPIs are recorded, so how many clients you see, you'll have your billing targets, but it's very useful for the company because their overheads are very small now, so they can have more profit, and it also allows them to potentially pay higher wages to employees because their overheads aren't as high. That's a bigger cut for you potentially. On the face of it, this sounds good. The issue is that very quickly we find problems, particularly with complex clients and that lack of access to therapy room. So the therapy room is very obvious. If you can't see a person in a therapy room and you don't have a neutral place, it means you have to see them at their homes, and you might not want to do that. Sometimes, for example, I had a client who one time showed up to the door in lingerie, right? People do strange things when you're going to their homes. The environment is different, and how therapy takes place is quite different when you do it like that. The other side of things is that when you're in people's homes, there's more opportunity for danger, so now you have to do a risk assessment every time you go to a place. It's a way that they keep being able to add on more expenses and things to charge for, because now you're charging the client for a risk assessment each time you go out. You're charging them for petrol each time you go there. So it's a great way to just maximize your expenses while reducing your overheads if you're a company. It's a bit of a con. It's a gaming of the system. And it becomes particularly dangerous when we start having complex clients, because it now means that your management is not necessarily even in the city that you're in. They don't know the local culture. They're not invested in the community. If things go bad, well, they're not going to have to walk down the street and have people give them dirty looks because they know who they are and what they did. And when you have employees working with the complex caseloads, so people who, they've got a proclivity to kill themselves, if you're dealing with a lot of child safety things, the culture of organizations who deal with that are quite different from what I experienced with Get Scared Kids. Those companies, they tend to have a focus on employee well-being, and their employers know what's going on with their employees because they're with them all the time, all day. Right? They have their lunch breaks together. They get the level of fidelity they have with their team is much higher, and their teams are much closer, and that close-knit team is a massive protective factor when you're dealing with very hectic situations. In fact, I would say it's such an important protective factor that it's inappropriate for complex cases to be assigned to any Uber model, because the consequence is that your employees are going to break. Imagine if we had an Uber police service. Well, Get Scared Kids had an Uber complex case service, and to me that is just horrific. I'd actually go as far as to say it's negligence. So this is, in conclusion for my video today, or at least this morning, the Uber model for services, what it does is that it allows the organization to increase what they can charge a client while decreasing their overheads, and is such very attractive to corporations. It puts employees in a place of vulnerability. It reduces the protective factors that they're under and puts them in harm's way more. And it reduces the level of fidelity that management has and responsibility that management have regarding the care for their clients and their care for the community. It's not a model which should be used for complex cases all in all, it's a bit of a con. I think restrictions need to be placed on that model. I think a rule should be made that if an organisation doesn't have a bricks and mortar building, with at least some therapy rooms or something similar in a city, it should not be able to operate there. And that's the gist of it. There's more things I could say about the model. Maybe I'll save that for a different day. Have a good one.